Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. There has been so much energy coming in. Holy cow. So much experiencing. There's been um, a lot of really cool and awesome, exciting kind of stuff happening with like planetary stuff and all that. And here we are. We're already feeling. We've been feeling the Lionsgate experience in energy for some time, and now we're here in the 777 energy. And remember that this year, in numerologically speaking, using numerology anyway, adding 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. So we're in a 7 year, as well as it's going to be the 7-7 portal. So 777, lots of stuff going on. And also, of course, we're having their super moon. The buck moon is a super moon. This full moon that we're having. It looks like a full moon already. However, it's not until the 3rd in the early morning, for me at least. So say hello and welcome to everyone. We have Patriot here. Hooray. I'm glad you made it. Carmen, hey, buddy. Good to see you. Yeah, Patriot here, everyone. Sorry, Carmen. Carolina, hello. Donald, hello. Genevieve, welcome. Cool Deep. We're talking about people having arguments about who's first. You guys are so cute. Vegan Vixen, hello. Hello everyone. Lots of love from Wales, UK. Oh, that's really cool. I wouldn't know how to pronounce that. I want to though. That's really cool. Donald says, I wonder why the energy is so tiring all weekend long. Just tired. Yes. Okay. So let's talk about that. Thank you for bringing this up, because the exhaustion, the incredible tiredness that's happening is just very profound. Most amazing transmutation happens when we're sleeping. And so we're having that experience that's kind of like assisting us. And we're naturally doing a lot of this. The deep tired, what you're talking about, totally with you. We've been feeling it for a while now, and I knew that this weekend would be even more intense. It's just surprising at the same time, even though I knew it was coming. So we do a lot of healing and connecting. A lot of us talk about what's our mission. We need to do all this work, and quite frankly, most of us do the vast majority of our work while we're asleep. Like we're not even, it's like autopilot 100%. And so we're also being called to be in that place. And so on top of that, when you wake up, you notice that you're even more tired. It feels sometimes, and you felt like you were when you went to sleep originally. And we've been doing a lot of work in astral and in that sleep place. And so that's definitely part of it. Most of us are feeling this, though. I would say that's the most common symptom people are having right now. Vegan Vixen, anyone over emotional? Yeah. I'm bawling my eyes out all the time. Like everything is too overwhelming, and I feel like I can't cope anymore. So there's a phenomenon that's happened recently that we kind of started talking about a little bit in the last live. What that was when it was really kicking in and really hitting my experience. Okay, so the Sunday was the 25th, which was an important day I've been channeling about for 5 years. And it kind of came into understanding a little bit just leading into that. We crossed through this light-bearing precipice period as threshold, where we're holding the light bearers. You guys are light bearers, and you're holding more light now. As such, there are two things that happen. When you hold more light, anything that isn't of the light that's maybe used to being connected to you or connecting with you in some way gets very upset, wants to flee is the most correct way of saying it. Just like when you're in having an energetic experience with something that you're not sure if it's like there to be of assistance to you or not, and you send love to it. If it's of love, it'll answer back with love, right? However, remember, if it is not of love, it will flee. And so a lot of these energies are becoming really aggravated. And I've noticed more and more lately this past week that these densities, they look kind of like this big. They kind of look almost like a smoke, darker smoke color. They spend their time mostly around people's necks and mouth. I've noticed these days that these energies are connecting to people who are early in their awakening. And there's a way to relieve yourself of these really easily. So I'm just going to quickly go over it because this is what's happening for a lot of people. And I really appreciate that you brought this up. This is causing, this is often the catalyst for this emotional experience that Vegan Vixen is talking about. And so um, noticing that you have this light, this soul spark in your heart, it's like this beautiful, brilliant light. It can represent as the smallest little teeny fragmental thing, like smaller than the head of a pin, and it can be quite large. Anyway, it is the most perfect and dense light, and meaning that nothing can be contained within this light but light. And before the shadow, the shadow has no chance. Allowing yourself to breathe in through your nose, pulling in the light of God that you already do naturally. There's a funnel of light constantly moving into your form all the time. When we do this breathing in and noticing it, it amplifies, maybe thickens the span of this light, so it goes completely down you. And then breathing out through your mouth, you're breathing out the same light that you're bringing in, and you're watching it grow like a balloon. And this thing, this ball of light, again, nothing inside. It's all it is this pure light. Nothing that is of not of the light can be in this space. So you're pushing it all out as you blow it up. We tend to operate in our energetic sphere kind of way at around 75 feet in diameter. People will say 50, though I find that 50 feet in diameter tends to be an individual who's not fully awakened, not fully aware of their energy. And so why I tell you this is that it helps to grow this orb as big as you kind of think your energy might be. If you can't get it that big, that's okay. What's really cool, though, is that when you do that, you're pushing off anything that isn't of the light. So anything that's attached to you, anything that's connected to you, it goes. And often it will be accepted into the light. So it will be transmuted, right? It'll transform. It'll choose to become the light too. And doing that helps. The other part of this is then you have these individuals who have these things, and when they enter your sphere, your bubble of light, I am surprised, but not surprised at the same time, that after we had this solstice experience, my operating orb is quite a bit larger than it was before, just in silence and by myself without extending on purpose. And when people enter the orb of light and enter your sphere of energy, these things around them become upset, and they begin to run around the individual like this, like upset and freaked out. And then you'll notice that the person will then get scared. Like you see the fear in their eyes, like they know what's happening, but they're not sure what's happening at the same time. And then they get angry, and they get angry at you or whoever it is that's the light, because again, these energies are trying to flee. They don't want to be in the light. And so that's been going on for about a week in the most consistent way. So just letting you all know, this is what's happening. Thank you, Vegan Vixen, for bringing this up. Releasing through tears is the most beautiful, wonderful way of releasing. So I'm definitely always encouraged to do that. Releasing through tears is awesome. The more that we do that, the more that I find that when I release through tears, it's becoming more of a releasing with tears of joy and of happiness, of like, oh, people are so cool kind of energy, instead of always that sad, lull of experience. So just keeping that in mind, you're doing a great service helping yourself, releasing and allowing that to come out. Also, when we stand before the light, a very beautiful, brilliant light, it always brings me to tears. It's such a beautiful energy. It's hard to contain that much light and that much love at the same time when we are newly interacting with these beings of light. So Esther, hello. Good to see you. Hello, sweetie. Karen, hello, beautiful girl. It is a real treat to listen to your wisdom once again. So good to see you, Karen. You took away my fears about the abductions I experienced. I'm so happy to hear this, Karen. And I'm happy to see you. And your energy definitely feels different too. Fleur de Lis says, hello, Dutchman. Yes, bawling my eyes out here almost daily. And then that's a service. Thank you for allowing yourself to express those emotions and release them. Karen, you are truly gifted, honey. Oh, thanks. Your knowledge and knowing blows my mind and gives this old lady goosebumps among her wrinkles. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm always happy to serve. And anyone who's interested, I do offer one-on-one sessions. Our calendar's pretty full for this month, though there's some openings for August that are available. If you're interested, there's a link for my Calendly scheduling site in the description of this video. Jacaranda Marie, good to see you. Hi, sister, and all. Much love to you. Good to see you. Cosmic Onion, hello, sweetie. Welcome. Donna's sending so much love. Love and Light from Sweden says, oh, I'm so sorry. I hope I say your name right. Laisloti? I'm sorry, Elise. Eric's here. Therese, hi from Sweden. Be Beautiful's here. The Sunshine Bliss Project's here. Guardian 555. Hi, Pamela. Berwin Bravo from Oldwood, Tennessee. Well, cool. Welcome. Marcus. Hey, all amazing people. Katrin is here from Estonia. Patriot Hero, the sexual energies are off the charts for me. This is really fun to talk about because it's been fun being on this side, kind of witnessing this sexual stuff that people are having, the need for release in sexual energy, and this renewed invigoration in sexuality is happening for mostly men. I don't know if that's true. I know that my experience happened, and then like all of a sudden I'm great. Like I can take care of myself just fine. I don't want anyone touching me. It's really weird. And it's not like it's like I just don't have any drive and desire to involve anyone else in my sexual experience anymore. It's kind of funny. And then the men, a lot of the men, masculine energies, not just that though. I would say a lot of women are having this as well. So, and just the desire all of a sudden it becomes intense. And like, it's been fun to witness and watch this evolution occurring. So, the Sunshine Bliss Project, exhaustion and feeling adrenaline moving through the body. Oh, before I move on from that, I got distracted with my own rambling. Patriot Hero's question about this. I want to talk about that just for a second. Most of us have been focusing really good on our third eye and our crown and our heart and our throat chakras. And we're like, yeah. And we spent most of our life not really experiencing these first three chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus chakras, which in this area is where we contain a lot of these things that we're talking about these days that people are struggling with or noticing that it's a new profound or a new experience. And it's the release of it, the need to be able to release, to let yourself be in that energy and to cultivate that. We've spent, even if you didn't realize it, most of your life in this higher 4 chakra area. And so we come on and we're like, oh, I'm awake now. Open third eye, focusing on the crown, all this stuff. And it's like, what about these guys? And so a lot of this is the expression and the need for this energy to flow, to open to the root, the sacral, a lot of womb related area energy, male or female. The womb area is like, creation and all this beautiful stuff. And so allowing yourself to let this energy move through each of the chakras from God and to dig like roots through the soil below you will assist the motion of this energy. And often people have been trying to do this through the tailbone, which they find it very difficult to do. And so to do it through the genitalia in this way is actually really, really, really helpful. So keeping that in mind, the expression of whatever is needing to happen, it's there and it's beautiful. It's awesome. It's celebration. Part of the thing that most people do is we're trying to be so spiritual that we forget to allow ourselves to have the human experience too, which is why we're here too, right? As to get this experience and try out what human being is like. The Sunshine Bliss Project, exhaustion and feeling adrenaline moving through the body. Yeah. At the same time. Yeah. And it's just like so exhausting. And I'm finding, and I saw just below that Patriot Hero says I'm having trouble sleeping, and that goes along with this for me too, is that it's been kind of a joke. I've been talking to a few people about this. I'll be really tired about 6 p.m. I'm like, I'm ready to go to bed, but I have a little one. So, and because I am a night owl, I've slowly allowed my little one to become kind of a night owl too. So bedtime's around 11 for my child. And then, I do homeschool, so we can set our own schedule around that. And as a result, by the time that she finally goes to sleep, then I'm awake. I'm ready. I'd end up staying awake for a really long time, like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And it's really a confusing thing because you're so tired, like literally barely able to keep your eyes open. So yeah. Jackie, good to see you. Sarah, hello from Ireland. Been crying a lot too. Sexual energies off the charts too. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Sunshine Bliss Project. Spiritual warrior. Oh, she's having a specific question or answer of someone else. Sarah, yes, deep sacral stuff feeling right now. Yeah. Teresa B, lots of strange dreams this week. Yeah, we're connecting more and more in the astral through this dream space than we had before, I would say. At least our recollection of it has been improved. While you're in this place, a lot of times we'll find it feels kind of like you're having sleepwalking kind of stuff because you're waking up actively engaging in something in someone's. Usually there's several individuals, like almost like a committee meeting or a group that's like, seeking our input and back and forth. And that's often happening as you're waking up, having a vague recollection of it. If you'd like to increase your improvement or improve your ability to recall the dreams, one thing I found useful is to have an audio recorder nearby so I can just ramble for a minute. Sometimes there's sleeping happening at the end of it, and that's fine because then you can go back and just listen to a few things that you said, and it jogs the memory just enough that you're able to recall the content of that's useful for you. If you don't remember, you still got the same downloads and the same things that you got from it, even though there's no recollection with the logic of your brain. Tini, hi, love and peace. Beautiful day. Good to see you, sweetie. Be beautiful. Anyone experiencing skin rash that appears to be a burn? Yeah, this is actually really common. Large bumps appearing out of the blue. I took a picture of my knee a while ago. I'll see if I can find it while we're talking. So this skin related stuff, these weird rashes, irritated skin, different strange seeming kind of experiences has been really common and on and off for probably about a year or so that I started to really notice it or note it as what it was. At first here's a shot. So this is my knees. But this is an example of what had happened with me. I don't know if you can really see that very well. And just that's one example of it. There's also like this almost eczema-like experience, really weird, itchy stuff. The one that I've been noticing feels electric. It feels kind of like neurological. You feel nerves moving through the surface of your skin. Someone compared it to being electrocuted or even burned, like you had said. And so the largest organ in our bodies is our skin, and there's a lot of transmutation and release, or what's the correct word? Purging, there we go, of all of these toxins and things that we've had in our body that tends to surface. It goes through and out through our skin. So we'll have like acne kind of stuff. We'll have these weird bumps. We'll have these just different kinds of purging. The fun one is it's fun because I haven't been able to fully wrap my head around exactly what it is yet. Is this strange sweat. It's very bizarre. It's not really, I wouldn't really call it sweat apart from the fact that it's exuding from our skin the way sweat normally does. It has a strange texture. It's not constant. There's times that you're sweating and there's times that this stuff is coming off of your body. It's very interesting. It's things that we just are having happen right now. Genevieve, the crying was less for me this week, but many random surreal things happened. Things like stepping onto a movie or otherworldly. Yeah. Suddenly realizing the energy that you've been existing in. That's been happening more and more for most of us. It's just all of a sudden you're like seeing things differently than you saw before visually, like a visual experience is changing rapidly. Colors look different, and you're just, things you've seen every day for years and years look different all of a sudden. As we're raising our frequency up to a higher frequency, the things that are operating at this higher frequency that we're getting to are now being able to be perceived by you, and so we're starting to see what's true. One example is like individuals will first notice something like you're not using your head, your logic at that time. You'll notice something and see what it is. And then noticing that it looks different, like it's a different person's face or it's completely different in some way. and then turning to it and then logicking it back into the box that it came in. Eventually, you start to be able to see things and let it be what it is after it as the way that it's coming in. So it's kind of fun. Pardon me. And let's see. Lies Loti. I'm so sorry if I'm slaughtering your name. Having feelings of popping and crackling in different parts of the body. Yep. Like small bubbles popping or growing out of its shell. I love that example, that visual. Thank you. Yes, I've been having this too. It's really random too. You'd think, well, that must be a joint, and often it's like in the belly area, especially. There's this weird thing a lot of people are talking about. It's just really bizarre. Like somebody, I can't remember who it was now, I was talking to the other day, was talking about how it was almost comical. This kind of step back and notice this crack, snap, and pop that is happening like in the belly or the lower abdomen area. And it's just this weird thing it's not a typical experience. What is happening, I know this, is that we're separating between these densities, these investments, these chords that we've had in all these other frequencies and energies. And so as we do that, we kind of, there's this pulling away. We've been talking about this for a little while, and now it's really happening in a profound way. Is that it's kind of like the sticker when you're pulling up a sticker off of a surface or like a band-aid or something. There's this pull and this resistance that's happening, and it causes a shaking. And that's what's happening for a lot of people right now too. So we're having that happening, and this bubbling thing. Personal note on one side too is that for some reason there's something really big about the back of the head and the top of the head right now. Like the head specifically is an area of release. I've had some really bizarre sensation there, as well as like just this one area of the back of my head is like really sweaty, and like it's just really strange. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else resonates with that, but it goes along with this popping because it feels like that. You know how what it is because how it feels like it's what it feels like when you're talking to another person. You don't have to say their name. You know what their name feels like or who they feel like, and then the name is just added for like identification purposes. It's kind of like that, and so it's related somehow. I just don't know how exactly yet. Chakaranda Marie says yes, diamond crystal heart. Oh, it's so cool to see you. I missed you so much, Jacaranda. Sarah, feeling that soul spark energy strongly today, and the love I feel when it's activating is so blissful. There's no perfect words to describe. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. I'm so happy to hear that. A lot of us are getting activated in a very real way right now, and so we're finding that we're reaching a higher plane of existence than we knew was possible. And it's kind of giddy and exciting. You're like, oh, I'm riding the bike without training wheels. And it's like, oh, what might happen? There's all of that whole experience of emotion, that whole broad experience, and allowing yourself just to be in the moment and to know that you're safe. You all are surrounded by light beings that are here to assist you and to guide you. So you can also ask. You can, consent is still required in a lot of these things, being that we're in the it's paradigm that is ruled by the law of free will, and so consent is required in order for interaction to happen. So when you want these awesome energies that are around you to help you or to engage with you in some way, simply ask. And most often they're like right there. They're like, yeah, I've been waiting, and so keeping that in mind, all of you are always surrounded with like this big swarm of light beings. Is a kind of funny way to say it. They're really beautiful, loving, higher frequency energies. Esther, my joints are so hurtful again. I thought it passed the thing with the joints. Yeah, okay, so we're still cutting to the joint a little bit, especially around the shoulder, upper and lower back area. I've noticed lately that most people, so when I go to the store, people do people watching. And what I do is I do people energy watching because it's kind of fun. You can kind of see everybody's in a certain, and what I've been noticing, like I went to the big grocery store down the road here that's not my favorite place to go, and there's a lot of people there around the hips, specifically around the hips and even the pelvis, this area going down into the knees. Most people are having, like, you can see that there's, because energy shows where your aura shows, I guess is another way of saying it, shows where you're needing work, where you're focusing your light and your energy and your healing. And so this area, and also you can see within it, there's densities It's not that the density is like, we're going here right now. They're kind of almost stuck like a corner. Like, you know how when you're smudging your house or using your song bowls, your all of the energy seems to be caught like in the edges or especially the corners of the room. Same is true for in your body. They don't really want to be there necessarily. They're just, that's where they are, and the reluctance to leave is sometimes similar to perhaps an adult child that has never moved out in its time, and they're just comfortable, and they just kind of need a little bit of encouragement. Sending it with love. You can use that same orb we talked about earlier and sphere it over certain areas of your body. Another fun technology, you can move your chakras. Hey, 111. There's 111 participants in this Zoom meeting right now. That's really cool. Zoom, sorry, this live. We're not on Zoom. It's fun to see the synchronicities. And so you can move your chakras, specifically your heart chakra, as the healing element that it is, that emerald green color. You can guide it to these areas and allow this energy to move. It wants to go most of the time. It really does want to go. And so just allowing yourself to assist it to leave, it'll send you gratitude, and also you're then liberated. So that's pretty cool. Vegan Vixen, hit the like for our beautiful Pamela, guys. Thank you, Vegan Vixen, for saying that. I am slightly saddened or annoyed, or what's the right word, that we have this thing in YouTube that people don't tend to get to see the content until you reach a certain amount of likes. And by having that number of likes and also subscribers, it makes it so more people find out that they're not alone. And so I really do appreciate it when you hit the like button for that purpose. It's not for my own needs, and I know that we're helping people. Prithvi says, hello, Pamela. Hello, blessings. Good to see you, sweetie. I'm happy that you're here. Karen says, you have a golden aura. Oh, wow, cool. Thank you. That's cool that you can see that. I've been noticing that too. It's been changing to gold a lot more lately. Gold, blue, and violet. And what's strange is there's a lot more white than ever. I never really saw the white before. Fleur de lis, I often feel like I have a crown on my head. Okay, let's talk about this one. This one's fun. Okay, so a lot of people will notice it as a headache. And it's like a headband, often lower down, just above the eyebrow, usually, not always. Many people will feel it on one side, the other side, or in the front, or in the back. Though many will feel the entire thing. This is really fun because I can see into this other experience, and what I usually see, I see a lot of us in repose in like these, they look kind of like beach chairs, the kind that you can recline on. And we have this thing on our heads, and it's like made of crystal and light, that it's healing us and assisting us and recalibrating us in some way. And a lot of times we'll sense this and not fully know what we're sensing, connected to this higher self that's getting this healing and therefore giving it to us. So it's kind of fun. As well as there's something else going on with the head. There's been times where I've actually touched the back of my head, like up here, and it's felt like there's more of a, I don't know, a cone head kind of. There's something like my head shape has changed in some way. It's very bizarre. So that's kind of in there, a side note. Genevieve says, yes, the anger must take high road, and allowing the anger to come out. So a lot of people will trap the anger not knowing that that's what they're doing. It's like kept prisoner or hostage inside themselves when it's not released, and remembering that anger is the root is rooted in fear. And so there's love, and the opposite of that is fear. God is love, and the opposite of God is over here in this fear place. And so there's a whole spectrum of stuff in between. And as we experience things, they just simply need to move through us. They're just like being in a subway station, and all these individuals are walking by, and there's trains moving, and there's all kinds of stuff. You can let them be what they are and let them walk by, or you can grab and engage with them. You need to talk to me, kind of thing. And funny enough, most of us will do that instinctually, or we've been taught to in some way, that we need to grab that and experience it. And so there's a difference between what I'm talking about and ignoring it, by the way. And so what I do to release it, this is something I've been doing only the past little while, and it's really been helpful, is that when I start to feel it, I'll go outside. And there's steps I'm taking to get to the outside place. The reason I do this is that I want to express this anger without projecting it at any innocent passersby. and I'll project it up into the sky. I note that while I'm walking, I'm making the plan. And so anybody in spaceships or whatever energy's up there, get out of the way, because here it comes. And then I'll do everything but use my voice in screaming out. Just that, and just let that energy out. Let it release. It's funny. It sounds really silly, and it took me a long time to finally do it. I kept seeing that I should do it, and it just, I don't know. It's like shouting at the moon, kind of an idea, howling at the moon. However, releasing it without using my voice, particularly because I don't want to lose my voice, and the pain that happens after, I don't enjoy. And then once we release it in this healthy, healing kind of way, all of a sudden, this euphoria sets in. This, wow, just you feel it move down and just release and just, wow. And then you get to be floaty. It's really cool. Allowing it to come out, to be released, and to move on to where it needs to go is all we need to do, really. So thank you for sharing that, Genevieve. I really appreciate that. That's important to talk about right now, because a lot of people are having it come through. I just got skipped all the way to the bottom. So let's see. I'll move up a little bit. I'm sorry if I missed your question. I'm sorry. Please write it again, so I'll make sure that I get to it. Oh, someone's birthday, Mike's birthday. Happy birthday, Metaphysical Mike. Where's Metaphysical Mike at? Well, happy birthday, Metaphysical Mike. There we go. Hi, it's my 26th birthday today. Thank you. Wow, that's awesome. 26 is a great, great year. I remember so much happened that year. I'm really happy that you're on this journey with us. Happy birthday. Robin, hi. I love your insight and how aware you are. Awesome. Awesome a million times. Thank you. I feel so lucky to find people like you who make me feel not alone. And you're not alone. Thank you for saying this, Robin. And none of you are alone. We're actually connected really closely, and allowing that connection to continue and to persist through this experience encourages the light to expand within. And while we connect, we realize that we're just light molecules that are a mesh of light molecules that make up the light orb that we are. And so connecting in this way is just the beginning steps. There's a few things occurring in the next little while where we're going to be able to connect in a more real way. And as an example, I've been invited to be part of this Soul Fest, the Soulology YouTube channel. It's now become a website. They're doing a really cool gathering, a spiritual retreat. That's December 8th, 9th, and 10th, and I'll be a speaker for that. And in this place, in Houston, Texas, and in this place, a lot of us are going to be able to join and connect again, like in a physical way, and it's going to be really exciting. So if you can make it, there'll be more information coming out about that in the coming days through the Soulology Network .com. I think it's .com. It might be .net. Anyway, I'll leave that in the comments later on for people to be able to access. And we have our Friday Zoom meetings. Hey, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That progress. You're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. We have this Zoom meeting on Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it's Saturday at midnight UK time. And I do that so you guys can see that some people it's Saturday, some it's Friday. It's a new link every single week, and it's always posted in a community section. This particular Friday is the 777 portal. I've been trying to find a time in this week where I can do a group meditation, and it's just going to have to be part of this Zoom meeting that we do. I've decided. So what we'll do is at the end of the meeting, nearer to the end of the meeting rather, anyone who chooses to still continue in interactions and speaking to each other in a conversational way can go to this breakout room, and the rest of us will be in this other room where I'll lead a group meditation to assist the pulling in of this light that's coming through. So anyone who wants to join in that way and connect, you're welcome to. What's more is we have Telegram group that there's a link in the description of this video. You can connect for free. There's like over 300 people in this group. It's really cool. People all over the planet. There's always someone awake. Lots of cool inside information and just community, which I love. So, and speaking of 777, there's a person here called 777 who's saying happy birthday, Metaphysical Mike. That's really cool. Deb says, felt big release last Tuesday or Wednesday. Yes, I have poison ivy and I'm on prednisone. Yeah, so that particular day, Wednesday was Tuesday or Wednesday too for me. I'm not sure exactly which, but one of the around that window of time was my enough. I'm done. Like I'm done. And then when you realize you're done, then all of a sudden all these energies that were like, they're like, oh, because they no longer have a willing participant. Sometimes we don't know that we're a consenting individual with these things that are happening until we remove our consent and they just go away. They're like, oh, okay. So yeah. So it's kind of cool. I don't feel like dancing says just coming in. I can't pronounce words also. Not anymore. What is that? I don't. Luminous Light. So grateful to you, Pamela. When is the next Zoom? There you go. The free one is next Friday. It's coming on Friday. So like 5 days or something from now. So it's going to be a fun meeting. And we are going to be doing a meditation at the end for anyone who didn't hear that part. Karen, releasing sexual energy is important for the elderly too. Also, believe it or not, definitely allowing the expression of that release. It's really, really a helpful thing. I would say one of the earliest conditionings that you see the most common is people telling children that it's inappropriate to touch themselves. Allowing that expression and to be expressed and to remove the shame. Because remember, shame is really close to fear. It's down here on this side of the spectrum away from love. It doesn't mean that you're leaving love permanently, though we do move away from love when we go to this side of the spectrum temporarily. That's why we feel icky and uneasy, because it's not us. You are a being of love, a being of light. They're the same thing. And when we operate in an opposite paradigm of what we are, it's really unsettling, and it doesn't feel correct because it's not. It's not truly you. Joseph, I feel a change in the air, a change of hope. Yes, it's going to get even better, Joseph. Just stick around, man. Right now is this amazing moment. We are already in this window I've been told for a while, between the 1st and the 7th, this particular window of time. A lot of amazing activations, upgrades. I don't know why, but I want to call it an up code. Like we're getting downloads of higher frequency codes and stuff. Up code. It's interesting. I don't know. And that's happening in a very real way right now. We're also I've been seeing it for a while. It's not like the event of catastrophe that people talk about, but I have been seeing that in this window of time, we're going to get a really big solar flare that's going to be very noticed by everyone. And in this occurrence of this solar flare, a lot more activations occurring. There are people in the school of thought that are saying that there's concern or reason to be alarmed by some of the things that the sun is giving us right now. And actually, I'm finding that we're actually getting a lot of really awesome things. And I've known that was going to happen. The sun has these amazing little spirits or energies, these beings that come off of him too and come careening down to our planet in assistance in this joy and loving, happy way. It's really cool. Metaphysical Mike, Joseph, I'm sorry, that's a private conversation. Genevieve, what do we have? Excuse me, that we do have here as well. Late bedtime. Oh yeah, we do. It's just, I don't know. It feels more correct. Joseph, maybe we will finally see some positive things manifest over all the doom and gloom. Yeah, actually, I've been seeing the manifestation of this positive stuff for a while, though. I would say that in some cases, in some ways, I'm uniquely lucky because I get to see what's supposed to happen. And so it's really easy, or what will happen. And it's really easy to see as it's happening for me. For instance, when the lockdown first started, a lot of people were really upset. And I was like, yeah, all right, we're here now. Okay, now what are we going to do? I was really excited. And most people were like, oh, toilet paper. The toilet paper apocalypse. That I don't know if I'll ever get over that. There'll be people excavating individuals' storerooms, and they'll find nothing but toilet paper still. Tareen says, "Hi, Sylvia here. YouTube changed how they use channel names. Oh yeah, I know, it's really annoying. Major body aches and pains and exhaustion. Can't even bring myself to do any focus work on it. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about. If you want to schedule a session with me, I do healings as well as spiritual counseling. I bring in the guides and the higher selves, and we can do work, though I don't have any availability until August. One thing that you can do for yourself is connecting with nature in the best way that you can. Not always is that possible based on where you live or your availability to nature. You can bring soil into the house and set your feet on the soil. This experience that we're having, a lot of it is purging, the need to remove and let things leave us. And so we can do this through water as well. I use water for this a lot. And we're talking about, you can do this in your sink, in your bathtub. While I'm washing dishes, I find the most clear channeling happening. I've gotten in the habit of having a voice recorder next to the sink where I do the dishes, so I could, because when I'm channeling, I'm not as an audience as maybe I should be. I kind of sit back and go, wow, look at all this pretty cool stuff you're showing me. Anyway, that helps to connect with water, maybe Epsom salt, and allowing all of this ionization process to occur. That's something else that you brought up that was very useful. Thank you for bringing this up, is that during solar flares, it's a really useful thing is to have buckets of salt water nearby. If you don't want to do that, you can fill up your bathtub or sink halfway and put some salt in there too, and just allowing this ionization process to happen. What this means is, ionization is that our body collects all this positively charged ions, and it sounds like you want it because it's positive, but we don't. We don't actually want this. And so this salt water allows for our body, you can do it in soaking this way. And then in the air, we pull the positively charged ions out of the air with the salt water. And then we can then replace it with the negatively charged ions, which is what you want. And that's when you feel better. A way to describe the positively charged ions is it's like kind of that energy. That's what it feels like. It would sound like. It's just this constant around you. And then when you purge it, when you let it move off of you through the ionization process, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can breathe now. What were we talking about? Back to normal again. And so that assists us in allowing for these aches and pains to move through more clearly. The aches and pains are almost always us moving through the density, letting the density come off of us, and purging some of the things that we have physically collected throughout our diet, and that what we breathe in the air, and so on and so forth. And so allowing yourself to do that. There's something else too. It feels kind of like growing pains, like literally growing pains, noticing in the bones, feeling like, I remember very well the sensation of growing pains as a child. And I thought about this throughout my adult life, wondering why I have such a vivid recollection of that. And I think that this is why, is that's what we're doing right now. It's as if we're growing taller. And I don't really know what that's all about, but it's something that's happening. So I found that the ionization helps this too. Mariette says, is vertigo also Ascension Symptom? Yep. As if my brains are resetting, everything's spinning around, scary. Yeah. Okay. So, and so we have what I've kind of clumped a lot of different things together that, and a vertigo is included. There's a vertigo, dizziness, and lightheadedness all kind of goes together at the same time. And so there's this disorientation sensation as if, you're spinning and then you're trying to figure out which way's up in the middle of it. And that's exactly what's occurring as we're raising our frequency. We're in a new plane of existence. And so we're feeling something at a higher level. And so being able to connect and ground will assist this experience, though not always long lasting. And yes, it is about having to do with our brain resetting in a way that we're having a grand reset is actually the wording that I channeled a couple of days ago, the reset. And it makes so much sense. And as this reset occurs, it's like you start over again and everybody gets to see exactly where they're at. A lot of this stuff that we've piled on, this conditioning, this just understanding, this globally propagated television programming to program us to believe and to agree on a reality that's before us that's perhaps not, is all reset. And then we get to see what it truly looks like. So, Kay says, my adult son finally woke up. Hooray! He is like a new person. I'm so excited. Oh, what an exciting experience. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy for you, Kay. Cool. Luminous light, acne, and weird bumps. Yep. On the fingers. I've had it on my my knuckles and my elbows. Like my elbows, it's not like what you would that normal elbow stuff that people complain about. There's something purging, and also around the knees. Like I'm having it there. You could call it like similar to an ingrown hair if there was a hair that was ingrown there. I don't know, something strange. And it's these areas where these densities are at, and there's a physical manifestation for something if it's a long lasting experience. It's always how it works. So when we heal the underlying thing, then the physical sensation and symptoms go away. Like any of you who know Dolores Cannon understand this philosophy and understanding. There's a lot to it. The short version is that every organ, every part of our body is directly related to an emotional experience. And that's our body saying, hey, time to heal anger. Hey, time to heal this, that. And so you can actually look it up. It's really easy to find in any internet search engine, typing in the organ and what emotion is related to this organ, and it'll pop up a list and give you all kinds of information. The one off the top of my head, because it seems to be the most common conversation topic right now, is the liver, and the liver is where the anger resides. And it's also what's fun. Someone brought this up. It's what cleans the blood, and so there's a lot of this occurring, this sensation experience with the liver area, and that's let's work on some of this anger and let it go, release it so it can go out. So Jackie says, laugh out loud. Everything is fun to you. Everything is fun to you, Pamela. It is. I'm so happy to be in this moment. I spent well over 2 decades in deep, mostly almost all the time, depression. On the outside, I looked really happy, but I was really not happy to be here. And now we finally made it to this window of time. The reason that I came in the first place, I had a sensation for a long time that I wouldn't make it to this point. And here we are, and we're in the celebration part, and sometimes celebration includes that annoying factor of having to decorate and get everything set up. And that's kind of where we're at right now. It feels like, can we just have the party already? Sarah, OMG, I get some bumps on my fingers. I've been getting them every once in a while since I started to really feel ascension body changes. That's really cool. Also, another one that we feel, I get this stigmata, these blisters that happen right in the same spot on both of my hands. I don't really have it right now. There's some scarring from it. And it's just the most random thing. It's not due to like farm equipment or something that I typically and they appear when I'm going through a soul merging. So we merge with our higher selves. When we raise our frequency up to the same frequency of our higher self, we merge into our higher self to share the same experience. And then our higher self becomes our higher self. If that makes any sense, I hope it does. And whenever that happens, I have this stigmata. It's a big joke because there's a whole thing about that. I don't know if you know what stigmata is, but that's not really what it is. Burning sensation. Oh, sorry. Lies Loti. I would love to say your name correctly. If you would, I don't know if you've written to tell me the right way to say it. If you would, I would appreciate it. Lies Lot. Burning sensation in the skin. Sweat smells different. Yeah, it smells and it feels different. It's a different texture. It's like squeaky. I don't know. There's something different about it. Be beautiful. Thank you for answering my question, Pamela. You're welcome. If I've missed anyone's questions, by the way, please feel free to add them in because I just jumped again to write it down in the bottom. So I'll make sure I'll get to it before I end this. Joseph says, thank you for broadcasting this. It is so nice to hear that others are experiencing all these weird signs and symptoms. Yeah, you're welcome, Joseph. I'm really happy you were able to join us today. There's so much cool stuff happening. And a lot of us are, when we focus very much on the physical sensation and then think that there's something bad going on, then it can feel like it's hijacking the experience for a time. My solution to this is that if you're going to a place of fear and concern for your well-being, see a doctor. The worst thing that they can do is tell you they don't know what's going on and here's some medication. And then you can choose whether or not you're going to take that medication. I typically don't take it. That's just me. if I can avoid it. And so, knowing your body and allowing yourself to not have to be in that place of fear about it is really cool. So cool, Deep. Good to see you, sweetie. Health says, I've noticed when I'm in flow and following my intuition, my symptoms disappear and come back when ego tries to drive again. Interesting. That is very interesting. And that does make a lot of sense. The more that we connect in this higher experience, then we don't really have any of this physical sensation at all. Pardon me, this cough is, I will be happy when this smoke goes away, all the way, the fires and stuff that's happening. And the more that we connect in this higher frequency place, a lot of these things, the worries and the troubles and all this stuff that we focus on and get distracted by, just go away. They melt away. We've been talking for a long time about cutting cords. We've been cutting cords from this and that and the other thing. And often there's still the persistent experience of that unpleasant interaction or exchange of energy. And so the part that people don't usually say is to uninvest in that individual, in that thing, in that person in some way. And this doesn't mean that you don't love them. You can love people from afar very, very easily, and even in front of them without being invested. Not being invested means basically realizing that no one can make you happy or make you mad or make you sad. No one makes anybody anything. They choose to do it. And when they choose, that's what they've decided to experience at that time. I can also choose to participate in this created experience that they're presenting to me, or I can uninvest and no longer be invested in the result of their emotional experience. I still love them, and I'm here to support them. However, when an individual is in a place that's a little bit more unstable, and I'm able to uninvest and to detach in a loving way, I can still be in front of them and not be affected by it. And so that's something that the last step that I really hadn't fully explained before. So big love to all, says Marty Ann. Jacaranda, I've been feeling a lot of tingly pressure mid-spine for the last couple of months. Big love to you too, by the way. I'm sorry. I meant to say that. And I got caught in the mid-spine stuff is really fun. When that's happening, almost always, you're connecting to your energetic wings. I found that for me, and many people have also echoed what I'm about to say, though this isn't always typical, which everyone's experience is different. I have 3 sets of wings. I have one set on top, one in the middle, and one on the bottom. I have 3 sets of wings, and the wings are typically double the size of your height. And so they go out really far. And what's fun is what I use my wings for is when I send love, I energetically, all my wings go and like send that love like in an amplified way. I've noticed energetically when I'm healing somebody or comforting them, I'll notice that my wings can extend even farther energetically and like wrap around them, like protecting, loving, hug, maternal kind of stuff. Not creepy or anything, I promise. I just love everybody and I'm just so maternal. And that's what's occurring is these wings most often when we're having this spine sensation. What's more is that we have a variety of chakras all the way down each vertebrae of our spine. Each one of those little jointy places also has a small little chakra space. And these activations or these chakras are being activated a lot more lately than they ever were before. These particular chakras are groups that assist, like, I don't know what's the right way to say it. They're kind of like a conveyor belt for the light. They move the light down through your body, like amplify as it moves through, and then kind of assist and guide it to. It's kind of like a circulatory system, like your veins and stuff in your body. It's kind of cool. So I don't know if this is something you resonate with, Chakarana, but this is a real common experience right now. Karen says, you started the video with a white aura, but as you started reading the comments and getting more excited, I watched it turn yellow. It is a happy aura. That's really cool. Thank you for your observation, Karen. I really appreciate that. That's fun. I don't tend to witness my own energy as much so that's fun. Tina says singing and dancing releases and relieves. Yes, yes, yes. Qigong, any kind of motion, yoga, things like I'm very much a singing and dancing person. That's really what I do. And as I'm singing or and dancing, I tend to dance first and then really start. Anyway, as I start to do that, I'll start creating love orbs and just randomly hurling them about the world. What's fun is people feel it. I'll have people like text me or call me and say, "Wow, I just, I'm in Oklahoma," and it's just kind of fun to have that experience. And when we do that, we're allowing the energy to flow out. All things in motion, already in motion, are more easy in spirit. And so as we let this motion occur, then the things that need to go can move and move out. And as they do, when you're on your feet, it's assisting because we're then able to kind of ground, connect with the ground and let the things that need to come through and move out into the soil to do so. Even if you're on a high-rise building, it'll make its way down. It'll find its way down into the soil and release all of that stuff that's happening. And it's part of celebration. We're always meant to be in play. That's why they say be in joy, to enjoy and to be enjoyed. That's the whole point. That's literally your mission, to play. What does play look like to you? Play is different for every person, every one of us. Like sometimes for me, play is watering the garden. Sometimes it's playing in the sand. Sometimes it's writing. Sometimes it's creating in some other way. Like I'm very artistic. So like there's a lot of different things. As we engage in this play, we find that we lift up all things about our energetic sphere and all things about the energy around us and beyond. And so allowing yourself to find whatever play is and to engage in it as much as possible. And for me, dance is play as well. And so I'm in this playful place and I'm enjoying, not caring what I might look like, what I might sound like, just participating in the celebration of dance and music. It's beautiful. Um, Marty Ann says, "Do we all have wings?" Yeah, I think we do. I've seen energy wings on just about everybody I've interacted with. Usually, um, when a person's like newly awakening or not really full, not really awakening yet, um, their wings kind of look like a bat when it's sleeping. You know how it wraps around, kind of idea. Like it feels like it's real closed in, but they're there. And then when we start to notice them, then they kind of like start to come up a little bit. And usually it's one side or the other first and then the other one. So you'll notice like what's most common at first is you'll notice like the sensation right on the as if you were carrying a heavy backpack too long on one side or the other. Um, Whichever side it is, it's everyone's different. It's useful to know that the divine masculine is on the right side and the divine feminine is on the left side. And so whatever side is being activated at that time, it's helpful for you to experience it and to kind of calm the sensation, like thinking and being in that place of the maternal or the paternal, depending that masculine energy, that feminine energy. Um, and then it'll start to kind of like spread out as you'll kind of start to notice that you're a little bit more off balance. You're kind of getting used to what it's like to walk around with this energy. It's already there, though we're just starting to notice it, so then it starts to affect us. And so it's a lot of fun, and everybody's wings are a different color. Mine look kind of like opals in color, like they're white, but they have a kind of like this kind of a shimmery, colory. There you go, a little bit, kind of like that inside, like on the inside of the of each of the feathers. It's kind of fun, which makes a lot of sense because I'm like totally tie-dye girl, so it's kind of fun. Ingrid, my spirit team has described my pains as like growing pains. You mentioned this as our full body DNA is activating and shifting toward 4/5D. Yeah, exactly. It is. It's growing pains. It's shifting into being able to maintain a more balanced frequency that is in alignment with the frequency that we're um, existing within. You're already there. That's the most important thing to note here. Many of us feel like maybe sometimes that we're climbing, we're trying to get to a destination. And what we're really doing is we're undoing the false visual representation of of what they have been calling a reality before us. And as we unpack this, then we're able to more correctly see what's before us and participate in that energy in a place of love and joy. As we do that, the controversy, the calamity melts away, and we find that we're instead in this place of higher frequency light, in this place of peace and of joy and of balance and in love. And it's so cool. And sometimes we have moments where we get a taste of it here and there. And it feels like it's a fleeting thing that can only be experienced if a certain recipe is created. And that's not the case at all. It's that you were in a moment where you had released and let go of all your preconceived notions, all of your conditioning of what is supposed to be in front of you, and instead saw what was truly there with the innocent eyes of a child. Allowing yourself to do that as much as possible will really help. I do have to go. I'm going to answer one more question. Vanya Pamela, can we slow down physical time? How? Yes, we can. I don't know how. I just know that I've done it on occasion a bunch of times. It's like, usually I slow it down when I'm doing meditation kind of stuff. And so in this like meditation kind of place, when I'm doing spiritual work, slows down a lot. We've been doing this thing where we've been doing this weird time jumping thing where it always works out when you're in motion. Like we'll be walking or driving and we'll declare a very clear desire to have reached our destination by now or closer to the destination. And then all of a sudden, like we're literally there. And it's the most bizarre thing. It's not that we've just forgotten. I'm with somebody, I have witnesses, and it's that time isn't real. Time is a scheme. It's a creation. It's a thing that's allowed us here. I'm going to use this as an example. What they showed me it looked like paper in its form, though it was liquidy. It was really pretty and like shimmery and stuff. But so this is what time looks like. It's like a piece of paper. It's not black. It's just, and in order to exist within it, we shape it into a cone or a funnel rather. And whatever this is called. and then we can exist inside of it. And what we've been doing lately is we've been pulling it apart. We've been flattening it out and then allowing yourself to exist on this space that it is. And in this way, there's one timeline on this side, one timeline on this side. When we ignore or don't give focus to this timeline that's we're not interested in, it disappears and goes away. What's cool about this, though, is that in this flat state, you can manipulate it. You can make it do whatever you want. If you're over here and you like to be over here, you just simply move it to this spot. And I'm not sure exactly how to master this yet. We're still playing and going, wow, how do we do that? And Patriot Hero says, I just concentrate on slowing down time. And that's exactly, the desire, the want is always how it starts for me too. Just needing more time or the reason that it slows down the most in the meditation state experience for me is that that's when I have so much to do and very little time to do it. And then all of a sudden I'm able to complete 5 hours worth of stuff in a 20-minute window, and then there are what's more common when I don't participate in this way is that I'll notice that a year feels like a month now, and a month feels like a week and a week feels like a day. It's sped up dramatically. There's a reference to this in the book of Matthew in the Bible. I think it's Matthew 22 or something very close to Matthew 22. Is it says that for the chosen ones or the elect, depending on the version of the Bible that you're reading, time will slow down for our benefit. Like the days will be shortened. I think the shortening of days is how it's worded. You're welcome to look that up and to find the correct quote. Though the part that I'm the most fascinated about with that particular passage is it talked about what we're doing right now, is that you'll hear rumors. You'll hear rumors of these tragedies and these wars and these things. But they're not actually occurring. And the reason they're not occurring because they're not occurring on New Earth. And you're on New Earth. We're here on New Earth. It's just that We're hearing the echoes of those who have chosen to play out a less desirable timeline on this sphere that we're calling old Earth. So I do have to go. I love you all. If you are interested in joining our Friday Zoom meeting, which is free, please look for the link in my community section of this YouTube channel. I usually post it on Thursdays. It's a new link every week just to like replenish and renew the energy of that. And also remembering that this particular Friday is the 777 portal. So we're going to be doing a meditation at the end for anyone who chooses to participate in that. And if I don't see you there, I'll see you next Sunday, same time. I love you all. Just know that you've got this. There's a lot of stuff that feels like it feels hard, but it's actually can be incredibly beautiful when we let go and allow ourselves to float rather than fighting the current that's before us. All things leading us to the same exact point that we're all meant to simultaneously. I love you all. Aho blessings.